set a word for the day, for the year, of like a state that you want to embody more of. So whether it's peace, it's impact, it's expansion, it's prosperity, whatever it could be for you, really focusing in on that state of being and showing up that way. And kind of like putting on the glasses of fulfillment or peace or whatever your state is and looking for it around how it exists in your day-to-day life and acknowledging it and just amplifying it through your state of being. I think that that's huge to help you to kind of merge the gap between those visions and the states of being and feeling it now and acknowledging it's not separate. You can consciously choose to do that in the here and now.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Witchy Wellness Radio. Again, I am your host, Loren Cellentani, and this is a show you learn how your body is not in the way, is actually leading the way. And we're talking to Cassandra Rosa all about fulfillment. She is a certified life and healer and intuitive business coach. She helps spiritual entrepreneurs create fulfilling lives and impactful businesses. In her coaching practice, she loves to teach her clients how to clarify their path to their purpose, connect to their inner confidence, and create a fulfilling business they daydream about. Cassandra is a Reiki healer, award-winning speaker, and award-winning author of the book, Now What? Create the clarity to achieve your dreams. Cassandra is also podcast host of a personal development and business podcast called Fulfilled Female Entrepreneur. And it's available on all major podcast platforms. I am so excited, Cassandra, to have you on the show. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to chat with you today.
Yeah, likewise. And I know this is going to be coming out end of the year, beginning of the new year. So this is very juicy, ample for change. And I think you're the perfect guest to come on here speaking about fulfillment and how do we align that with our life, our business, our career, and making these sustainable goals, sustainable changes, and not burning ourselves out. Because I know I tend to do that if I don't keep myself in check. But before we jump into all of that, could you give us your own backstory, your own hero's journey of how you started becoming this beautiful, not only intuitive business coach, but Reiki healer, and really looking at this whole thing very holistically and spiritually? Because of course you're here on Witchy Wellness Radio for a reason, but I would love to hear your own backstory of kind of overcoming to now help others do the same.
Yeah, I'd love to share. So, from a very young age, I knew I wanted to make a difference in the world, but I had no idea what that meant. So, I thought maybe I'd be a teacher or a psychologist, and I ended up going to school for psychology. And halfway through my degree, I had this major now what moment. What am I going to do with my life? Is this really the plan and path I want to go on, or is there something more for me? So, around this whole now what phase, I was experiencing a lot of depression and anxiety. There was this lady that came into the classroom talking about doing a study exchange and volunteering in Africa. So I did both. I went to the Netherlands, did an exchange, saw how big the world was, and got outside of my bubble. And from there, I had the travel bug and volunteered in Africa. And that was such a transformational experience for me. I really fell in love with mentorship, like helping kids at an after school program. So when I got back again, now what? How am I going to incorporate this mentorship? Can I even get paid to do this? That was like the whole thought process. So my family has an insurance business, and they said, you can make a foundation one day, work for insurance, you'll make a lot of money, and then you can do that on the side. So I did that, tried corporate world, and I just kept daydreaming about helping people. And I had no idea what that meant. If there was a thought bubble coming out of my head, it'd be all question marks in there. So I left corporate, got a sales job just to make ends meet, and really accidentally fell into the personal development world. So I started taking a lot of courses, fell into energy healing. And from there, I realized, okay, this is a beautiful way to be able to be like the teacher, psychologist, make a difference in the world kind of career, being a life coach. So it's been 5 years being full-time. Come the time I launched, it was 6 months, I became a full-time coach. And it's just been such a remarkable journey, just developing myself and just sharing the life lessons on social media and helping my clients to get their own breakthroughs of really understanding, what does fulfillment look like to you? What is this impact that you can make on the world? And what's your path to do that?
Beautiful. I know for me, it was like the awakening, if you will, was the now what moment. Usually, at least for me, it was the contrast, the negative side of, I don't want is this really what being an adult is like? Going to the 9 to 5, doing all these things because that's what society told me to do, even though it just didn't feel right for me. But then I didn't know what else I wanted to do. It was just like your book. And now what? So if people are going through their own awakening, dark night of the soul, maybe they know that this is not whatever their life is like, their career is like, their business is not what they want to be doing long term, but they don't know what the next steps are, short term or long term. What do you suggest? What are some first steps that they can start to tune into their selves, get that ball rolling in
Mhm.
that direction towards fulfillment?
So lean into wherever your curiosity lies. If there is a book that crossed your path and you feel this inkling to read it, if you are scrolling on Reels on Instagram or on TikTok and you see someone that you have this instant attraction to and you feel curious to follow them, right? So I find like sometimes when you're in these transformational moments, there's lots of breadcrumbs that are leading you to your higher path. So for me, it was doing all this travel. And funny enough, when I was in corporate insurance, you had to do these questionnaires. And I ended up reconnecting with an old friend that invited me to a networking event. And that's where I met my first business partner. And I created my first business when I was 20 years old, making vision boards in schools and community centers. So if it wasn't me leaning into the opportunities that I was being presented of doing these travel opportunities or going to a network event or picking up a book or whatever it was, it wouldn't get here. So just lean into that curiosity and just take a yes year, of, okay, I'm in this transitional phase. What can I say yes to that feels good to me in my body and in my soul?
And you mentioned vision board. I see one behind you for everybody watching on YouTube. They have played a pivotal role in my own growth and manifestation process. I feel like they're pretty mainstream these days. I don't know. At least we've been in this world for so long. Could you give us a rundown? What are vision boards, but also why are they so important towards this journey of fulfillment, manifestation, growth, all of the juiciness that we all want and love?
Yes. So there's three main ways that you interact with the world. And for most people, it's visual or kinesthetic of tapping into the feeling or auditorial. So for all the visual peeps, this is a really powerful tool to help you to call in and manifest what it is that you desire. So the way that I like to do them, I have some blog posts about it. I'm very happy to share with you about in and outs of vision boards. But long story short, it's like looking at what are the 4 areas that you want to focus on most in your life, and what is a visual depiction of those areas that you want to grow or those goals that you want to achieve by the end of the year. So you can make one physically, like what's behind me for all the peeps on YouTube, or I like to also make one as my desktop of my computer, so when I'm out and about I can see a visual depiction. So the whole concept is the law of attraction, of being one with what you want, calling in, being a magnet, being with one with what it is that you desire. So the more that you tap into, focus on those images, become one, tap into that frequency of them, then you're able to attract in what it is that you desire. So I love them. I love to look at it every single day, to imagine myself. There's a picture right here of a beach, sitting there looking at the beach every single day. And it's so amazing at the end of each year to do a reflection and look at how many things I manifested because of connecting with the vision board and helping me stay focused. That's another big takeaway. It helps you stay focused on your goals because when we're caught up in the day to day, we can lose sight of it. Yeah, they're a very powerful tool.
Yeah, point of focus. I totally agree. And I think over the years, I've also done mind movies, which are like vision boards, but like on a slideshow with a song. And I was looking through this actually last week and looking at the things that I actually manifested from it. Even a past dog that I manifested in my life a year before I adopted her, the picture that I downloaded was like the exact color, breed, even to the toy the dog was holding. And I was like, wow, I never realized that. But I stared at it and practiced those feelings over and over again. And then I let go of the how, of the when, of all of those details. So could you, I know fulfillment probably is the exact opposite of trying to feeling that lack. So could you walk us through in the manifestation process and fulfillment, how do we really use the, let's just say, vision boards or whatever process we want to use as a point of focus, but able to really let go of the outcome? Because there's this tricky balance, right?
I love that you bring this up because this has been a really big lesson the past few years for me when it comes to fulfillment. When you think of fulfillment, like as a definition, people get caught up in the concept of achievement, especially as high achieving women, especially as people that want to make a difference in the world. We get caught up in once we achieve the items, we can then feel fulfilled. Then we can finally get the gratification of crossing things off the bucket list, right? Or off the vision board, whatever it may be. So, what has been huge is really understanding, finding the fulfillment every step of the way. So, it's like with every step you take, feeling fulfilled and grateful every single day for all the little wins, because all those little wins together become the big ones. So, how it's all connected to the vision board process is vision boards are great to connect you with the destination. But what's really good about vision boards is it doesn't have every single step there. So, it helps you stay focused on the vision, but it gives you that freedom to have that openness to what those steps may be as they unfold. So, I think it's really understanding fulfillment is much more than achievement. It's enjoying every step of the way and embracing the journey, as cliche as it is.
Oh my God, so cliche, but it's so true. It's
Mhm.
another quote I've heard is a man or woman who enjoys the process or the journey more than the destination is truly unstoppable.
Mm.
Because if you think about manifestation, the way that a vision board might work or any other processes that people here practice, it's about being or becoming that version of you, that vibrational match
Mhm.
to whatever you want in life. So let's say it's your dream car or your partner or the career or the dream clients. You actually are being that version of you, regardless of if that has actually manifested in the physical yet. So
Yes.
if we bring that into that quote I just said, it's not about the car. It's not about the dream client. It's not about the partner. It's about who you become, your growth, your change, your frequency is going to ripple out not only in your life, but into the entire planet. Which brings me to my next question, because I know the impact is huge for you, not only in your own life, but for people, your clients, and the people you help with. So, this is coming out around the new year. Lots of New Year's resolutions, vision boards coming up, I'm sure. So, how can we incorporate all of what we've been talking about into this new year? How to raise our own frequency of ourselves, which in turn changes the frequency of the world. It really ripples out and just amplifies the impact even more than we could ever imagine.
Yes, I love that. To tie into what you were just saying about like the becoming and the being of what it is that you want, set a word for the day, for the year, of like a state that you want to embody more of. So whether it's peace, it's impact, it's expansion, it's prosperity, whatever it could be for you, so that you also have that on your vision board. You can see mine here. It's fulfilled and free this year. So really focusing in on that state of being and showing up that way and putting on the glasses of fulfillment or peace or whatever your state is and looking for it around how it exists in your day-to-day life and acknowledging it and just amplifying it through your state of being. I think that's huge to help you to merge the gap between those visions and the states of being and feeling it now and acknowledging it's not separate. You can consciously choose to do that in the here and now.
Yes, because sometimes I feel like whether it's New Year's goals, resolutions, vision boards, we can feel so separate to
Mhm.
those goals, to even the words or those manifestations. So you touched on it, but what are some other ways maybe we can shift our perception and to narrowing that gap between where I am now and where
Mhm.
that manifestation might feel like way in the future.
So I think the big part of the separation can be the how for people. So for example, if you are someone that wants to create a business, it can feel daunting at first, or you want to hit six figures, or you want to have a certain amount of clients, or whatever that may be. I like to talk about the circle and start method with my clients, which is you get into a high vibe state. So you can do your meditation before, you can come back from a nice walk, whatever that may be for you. And then you sit with a pen and paper and you hypothesize to be able to achieve those resolutions that I have for this year. What are the different steps that I'm going to need to take? And you just brain dump them down onto that piece of paper in no particular order. Just get into that flow of consciousness and get it all down. And then number off 3 that you want to start with and make them as small as possible, like baby steps. And then you circle the first one and start within 24 hours of doing that just to create that momentum. So I love it because it helps us get out of our heads. You're in a high vibe space. So it's like the how excuse. Now you got it right there. And then when you complete those 3, you just number off 3 more. So it just gets you into the state of go. And as you're completing them, cross them off so you can see the wins so that you're one step closer with every little step that you take. So for example, let's say starting an impactful business example. So say the first part of the goal that you want to focus on is social media. So it's okay, I'm going to figure out my brand colors. I'm going to write my little bio. I'm going to choose my profile picture. I'm going to choose the photo for my first post and I'm going to start to write the caption, right? So little baby steps. So it also helps with your brain as well because you start to get those like dopamine hits every time you're crossing something off. You get that achievement, you get that momentum, and you have that visual reminder of how much closer you are to getting to that goal. So that helps me a lot and has helped my clients too.
Yes, I love that. It's a very visual, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
sure anybody who eats elephant, but I like that it's the same thing you were talking about, is like making those really bite-sized morsel pieces and anything, any change that you want to do, whether it's business, health, any manifestation to help, like you said, gain that momentum because you've practiced so long not doing those things. There's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of momentum. So we want to start turning that vibration and taking the aligned action, like you said, towards that goal, towards that state of being. And that's a really beautiful and easy way because I know I like to overcomplicate things. I tell myself all the time, just simplify, even if it's like listening to a YouTube video or meditating before getting into alignment. I don't have to meditate for 2 hours, which is nice. I love that. But let it be simple, let it be easy. And that includes the bit by bit, little pieces and steps like you just described. We talked about what we we talked about fulfillment, but I would love to hear in depth, what does it mean to you? Obviously, that's part of your word of the year for 2023. But what have you learned? What does it mean to you? Was it different at the beginning of the year to now at the end of the year for you? I would
Mm-hmm.
love to hear in depth what this process has been like and what it means for you.
Yeah. So something like fulfillment can feel like achievement. And it did for me for a really long time. It's like until I impact so many people's lives or getting caught up in the followers or the money that happens to all entrepreneurs that want to make a difference in the world. That's like the where it started. And as the years progressed, I've just started to acknowledge how it's important to focus on what's in front of you in the present. So it's like being fulfilled in the present, being fulfilled with a conversation like this and letting it warm my heart, my body, my soul. Every single client experience, every conversation, every comment on social media, all of the like the little things, giving myself permission to focus on that and allow that fulfillment to be present in the here and now. And it's just been such an enjoyable experience the whole year with everything that I've manifested. And it's not just feeling fulfilled when I got to the destination from all of those milestones. It was just an enjoyable process through and through. So I think that it's important for all of us that have those huge visions to really focus on the fulfillment, the gratitude every step of the way. And it just makes the whole experience so much more fun and useful too.
Yes, yes. And that's, I think life's supposed to be fun, especially your business and your creations and your manifestations. An affirmation I use a lot is this is easy, this is simple, and this is fun
I love it.
because that helps everything. It applies to everything. So I loved how you gave a lot of examples of how that actually is illustrated in your business. But overall, what is the most fulfilling part of your business to you? Is there something that stands out overall for you?
The light bulb moments.
Mm,
When I'm having like a conversation with a client, we're in the middle of the session, and then just something just lands and it just turns on. It can be like the smallest smile. It can be a moment of silence. Just seeing that integrate into their body and their soul is so special. And then from that place of them having that light bulb moment, going on and living their gifts and creating their impact. Because it's like a whole ripple effect that happens when you drop the pebble in the ground and all those ripples come out. Beautiful magic can happen. So that's why, especially with a lot of my clients that are in the beginning of their journey, they've done their healing, they're ready to go and impact others. I tell them it's so important for you to step into what that fulfillment looks like for you and start to create that impact you want to make, because you have no idea the amount of ripple effect that you can have by just showing up and by being you and shining your light with the world. And this year's been beautiful for client wins. I've had a couple clients create books, speak on stages, be featured on all these beautiful places. When just seeing I played the littlest role of helping them to create that light bulb moment is just so amazing.
beautiful. Yeah, I know it is so fulfilling to hold that space in any capacity, no matter what kind of coach that you are, to see somebody shift. There's a shift from maybe understanding or knowing what to do, like understanding the concepts
Mhm.
into the actual light bulb moment, the practicing, the knowing deep in your soul. And that's where the magic happens. And that's so fun. And that takes practice and sometimes a mirror, whether you might want it or not, to who you are actually being. And so you mentioned clients starting out on their journey. So do you mostly work with people starting out on their business journey, or you help people all throughout their business journey?
I help them with the application
Okay.
because I think there's so much information out there and
Yeah.
there's so many different ways. Yes, the majority of my clients are people that are really deep into the personal development healing world, and they want help to get started and really uncover who it is they want to help, how they want to help these people and really embody their fulfilled femme, I call it. So, like the most confident, intuitive version of yourself that creates that massive impact in the world. So I think it's really, I like to do things very holistically and very workshop style in all my calls, that we're doing things together. So that momentum starts to happen and that confidence starts to be built by taking action. So we do the tools, but then I also incorporate my intuitive side with card readings, with Reiki, with energy healing, meditation, to allow it to be a full visceral experience of like mind, body, and soul for the breakthroughs. So
Beautiful. Yeah, it's a holistic experience, spiritual experience. And for me, bringing that into especially business, bringing the spiritual into the mundane, making it meaningful,
yeah.
that shifts so much because sometimes I realize I compartmentalize this. And it's no, how you do anything is how you do everything. And especially when you're starting off new, doing a new adventure like starting a business, which is a whole nother spiritual journey in and of itself. It's really helpful to have somebody along the way who's been there, who has these tools, who can guide you and also help you work through that at a bigger capacity that kind of amplifies your pathway, the clarity to who you truly are. Cassandra, do you work with people one on one? Do you do group coaching programs? Tell us if people are interested in learning more working with you, at what capacity do you have offerings for?
So I have one-on-one open for registration right now. I guess by the time that this is released, it's called Fulfilled Femme Entrepreneur. So we can either go 3 or 6 months in which we go depth into embodying the most fulfilled version of you, which we focus on clarity and confidence and captivating your audience with your mission and connecting to your intuition and just creating that business consistently so that you can have consistent impact and you can create that massive ripple effect. So focus on those key themes over the 3 to 6 months.
Beautiful. We'll make sure to link that in the show notes. And you also have a podcast as
Yeah.
well, which is on all podcast platforms. So if people are interested in learning more, is that the best way to get to know more about you? Where's the best way they can really connect with you and find out more?
Yeah, so Fulfilled Female Entrepreneur, you're actually going to be a guest. I'm excited to record when we get off of here. So it's really helping you create fulfilling lives and businesses. So there's some solo episodes and there's some collaborative episodes that people get to share their business. So it's spiritual, it's business, it's mindset all in one. So you can check that out and check out Loren's episode. Or on Instagram, it's Cassandra Rosa A, or my website, cassandrarosa.com, has access to all free resources and ways to work with me.
Amazing. We talked a lot about fulfillment, manifestation, all the things today, Cassandra. Was there anything else you feel on your heart you want to wrap up or speak about before we start to close the show out today?
So I think we all have a daydream. We all have a New Year's resolution that we are setting. And I think this is our time to claim it and own it and go for it this year. Because when we do things that light us up, when we do things that are a way that we can impact the world, we create a massive ripple effect that I don't know if we'll ever be consciously aware of. And I think the more of us that come together and do this now in this moment in time that we've chosen to be here, the whole different landscape of the world will be if we all just step into our light and share it with others. So this is your lovingly supportive hug and gentle push to go after it this year and make this your best, most impactful, and most fulfilling year yet.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you again so much for showing up today for us, imparting so much wisdom and inspiration for us all. We close the show the same way every week. How may we, as the listeners, as a huge act of gratitude, be of service for you in return today, Cassandra?
I love that question. That's never been asked before. I would say just connect on all the beautiful ways. I'd love to just learn more about you, how I can support you in your journey, whether it's coaching or following you and helping you share your light and mission with the world.
Thank you again so much for coming on. It was such an honor holding a space with you today. If you guys haven't already subscribed on YouTube or any podcast platform, please do. Share this episode if it resonates with you with a special someone or on your social media. That really helps radiate the ripple effect from all these beautiful guests and Witchy Wellness itself. And if you feel so called, we would be so grateful if you could write a review. Thank you again, Cassandra, for coming on. It was such an honor being with you.
Thank you for having me.